Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's episode, we'll be speaking with English learners about their experiences and challenges on their journey to fluency. I'm Barry and I'm excited to introduce our guest for today, Mr. Ran. Ran has lots of valuable insight to share with us. So sit back, relax, and join us on this today's episode. Hello, my friend Ran. Welcome to our today's episode.
Hi, hello, Barry. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our listeners wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you, Ran, for the friendly greeting. But yeah, here is like midnight, even though we're in a different time zones, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, it doesn't matter. So then, how are things going for you today?
actually, I'm really good and I'm feeling excited about this interview.
Hmm, that's cool, and it's great to be have you here. And thanks for joining today. I think your insights and experience could be best for our listeners. So then, can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself first, if you don't mind?
Okay, my name is Reynold Cumia. You can call me Ren as my nickname, and I am from the Philippines, and I'm turning 34 this year. I am an experienced transcriptionist, also a volunteer church worker, and a preacher. I will be working as a virtual assistant in an American healthcare company a few weeks from now. So I am honored to be featured here in Barry's channel. Mixed of emotions. I am kind of nervous, but at the same time, I am excited for this. So I hope you're all doing awesome today.
That's fantastic, Ran. It sounds like you have a lots of experience and the future looks bright for you. And I'm excited to be have you on the today's episode to talk about your journey to fluency. I think you know already this episode is all about helping English learners to overcome their challenges and find the resources they need to succeed. So, Ran, your story is sure to inspire and motivate our listeners who are like also learning English. So then, let's begin by discussing your English journey. Can you tell us first, like, when did you realize that you want to learn English?
Okay, when did I first realize that I wanted to learn English? You know what? After graduating college, where I took a computer course, which I know to myself I am not really good at, the next journey for me is to look for a job. And I know that if you are looking for a job, you have to prepare for the interviews. And here in the Philippines, in my country, if you want to impress the interviewer, of course, you have to at least speak in English because we have this, mentality in my country that if you can speak an English language, that means you are not zero. It means there is something inside your 3 pound brain. And looking for a job as a fresh graduate with a little working experience is a struggle because I was a working student when I was in college. And it's not easy to look for a job if you have a little experience. So you will really experience rejection. And yeah, I have. I know how it feels to be rejected. So I try to practice my English communication skills for me to be equipped or prepared for the interviews. I worked in BPO companies, that's business process outsourcing companies, for almost 8 years. I worked as a transcriptionist under Australian and American accounts. I also worked as a virtual assistant for an American client, and I got promoted as a trainer as well. And that will not be possible if I don't know how to speak the universal language, which is English. So the main reason why I realized that I wanted to learn and keep on practicing the English language is because of the job opportunities. If you're fluent in English, there's a lot of opportunities for you out there.
Wow, Ren, there's quite an inspiring story you have, and I'm sure, like, many of our listeners can relate to the struggles of your job hunting and the importance of having good communication skill in English. And it's really amazing to hear like how your dedication and hard work paid off. And you were able to secure various roles in, as you said, like BPO companies, and even you got promoted to as a trainer. That's great. So the second question is, are there differences in how English is spoken in your country if we like compare to others English speaking countries?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of differences from the accent, the way we pronounce English words. And here in my country, we are intimidated to speak English in public. Why? Because we are afraid of the grammar Nazis. You know, Filipinos who knows well, who are fluent in English, some of them are really perfectionist when it comes to grammar. But when it comes to, talking casually with a friend, P versus F, B versus V, and the proper pronunciation of TH, the voice and the unvoiced TH, that's not a big deal in my country. As long as we can understand each other's ideas, that's enough for us. But I am not saying that it's fine. All of us should learn the proper pronunciations to avoid misunderstanding, especially if we will be given the chance to speak with a native speaker.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You said about the differences in English pronunciation and it's too differently in your native country. That's cool. And it also sounds like speaking fluently in English can be challenging, especially when it comes to grammar. So overall, it's definitely important to strip proper pronunciation and grammar when it comes to speaking with native speakers. So Ren, have you find that learning English has impacted your personal or professional life in any way?
Yeah, you know what, Barry? Having the ability to speak the English language, especially if you're not a native speaker, can really boost your self-esteem. As I keep on learning and improving, it gives me more confidence, particularly when it comes to speaking or expressing myself using this language, the English language. And funny thing is that sometimes it is easier for me to express how I feel using the English language than using my native language, especially when acting things. And professionally, like what I've said earlier, I was a trainer before in my previous job. I got promoted, and that won't be possible if I don't know how to speak English or the English language because our clients are Americans. So English impacted my life both personally and professionally in a very good way.
Wow, it's wonderful to hear that learning English has had such a positive impact on your life, friend. And it's amazing how learning a new language can improve our communication skill and boost our confidence as well. So, yeah, keep up the good work, Gran. So, can you share a particularly memorable experience you had while speaking English, whether positive or negative?
Yeah, okay. I remember one time when I signed up for a free call center training course here in my country. After we did the introduction part, my co-trainees told me that I speak English better than our trainer. And for me, that's too much because I didn't see it that way. Because during that time, I can even pronounce words with PH properly. I just thought that my co-trainees were crazy, or maybe they can see a big potential in me. I actually learned a lot from that training, and that was really memorable.
You know, Ren, it's this really great story you have, and it's always nice to receive positive feedback, especially when you don't expect it. And I think that your experience, this experience give you a lots of confidence and motivation as well, maybe. And also like gives you to continue learning and improving your easy skill as well. So overall, you are doing great and just keep it up. So can you share with us? Do you find any aspect of English challenging or confusing?
Okay, you know what? The English language in general is already challenging and sometimes confusing. Like, for example, the word resign versus the word resignation. We are not pronouncing it as resignation, but the base form of the word resignation is resign. Another example, the word building, the structure itself. We call it building, even if it's already erected. So it's funny because it goes like they are building a building. Another one, the word saliva. In continuous or in present participle form, it's salivating, not salivating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So also the idiomatic expressions in English, because if you are not familiar with the idiomatic expressions in English, you might end up misunderstanding the meaning of it. You will take it literally. So English language is sometimes confusing, but when you get used to it through practice, listening and speaking, it will be easy and natural for the non-native speakers like us.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, especially, pronunciation and idiomatic expressions. So, Ren, do you have any specific resources that you would recommend it to someone who just start?
Yeah, well, actually, you know what? Oftentimes, I do my practice in speaking, listening, reading, and writing simultaneously. While I am reading out loud, I am hearing or listening to my own voice because I am speaking while I am reading. I'm not just reading silently with my eyes. And if ever I will encounter an unfamiliar words or a jargon, I am jotting it down and I'm searching for its definition. I also sometimes create a room in Free for Talk where we met.
Mhm.
Yeah. So for the sake of other listeners, this is a very good flat platform, the Free for Talk. If you want to practice your communication skills in different languages, the platform is free. God bless Fu Wang. He is the owner or the creator of that awesome website. And he's a genius. You know why? Because he even picked computer games that can actually help the learners to practice their communication skills, like Taboo, where you really have to be creative in describing the words that was assigned to you. So there, I sometimes create rooms in Free for Talk for reading sessions and impromptu speaking, and a lot of different nationalities from all over the globe joins and participates in those sessions. You're not just learning and practicing, you are also meeting new friends from other countries. So that platform is really, really nice.
Thanks for sharing your resources and methods. As you mentioned about Freeport Talk, yeah, it's really great platform for practicing with people from different countries. And your ideas of reading out loudly and nothing unfamiliar words to look up, it's like great way to improve. So thanks for sharing your insights. So Soren, do you have any tips or advice for someone who is just starting to learning English?
Yeah, commitment is really important. According to a quotation I have read, commitment is an act, not a word. Basically, it means commitment requires actions and not just words. If you are really committed to learn or be good in the English language, you have to do something. You have to act. You will not learn if you're wasting your time watching nonsense TikTok videos or scrolling on your Facebook or being a couch potato all day long. Listen to, you can also listen to, what are those? Podcasts every day. Read good books. I personally love reading John Maxwell's books. If you have no money for tuition fees, you can join public speaking meetings via Zoom for free, like Toastmasters. If there's an opportunity for you to talk, grab it. Grab the chance to speak your heart out. Have a notebook and a pen where you can write all the unfamiliar English words that you will encounter every day. Go and try using platforms like Free for Talk for you to really experience speaking to other people in English, like at least 30 minutes to 1 hour a day. What English movies, learn good English songs, and don't be afraid to imitate how the native speaker speaks. When you are listening, when you are trying to imitate the way they speak, at first, of course, you will feel cringy and awkward. I feel that too, but that's normal. If you really want to change or improve, coming out of your comfort zone is needed, and that is not comfortable. But you will get used to it until you become spontaneous and be able to speak the English language naturally and automatically. And don't be hard on yourself. Little improvement is still an improvement. I am not saying that I am very good in English. There's a lot more for me to learn. And I am not yet done learning the English language. I am still practicing, and I will always bear in my mind, listen to this, that fluency or knowledge in a specific language is not a measurement of someone's intelligence or worth. Because at the end of the day, it's just a language. So even if we become eloquent, articulate in a certain language, humility should always remain. And you know what? If humility is a language, I hope all of us will aim for fluency. So that's my advice for those people who are learning the English language.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing your valuable tips and advice. I appreciate your emphasis and on that importance of commitment and taking action, as well as your practical suggestion for resources and methods that you mentioned, such as reading, public speaking meetings, and using platform like Free for Talk. And yeah, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you again, Rand, for your time and share with us your experiences.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. It's my pleasure and it's an honor for me.
Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in. We hope you found this conversation informative and helpful. If you have any questions or feedback, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Stay tuned for our next episode. Bye.